Spotting your opponent's ideas and thinking through the consequences of each move, that's what my student and I focused on in this game analysis. If you ever wonder how to analyze a game more deeply, this one's for you.
e4, knight f6. So they played knight c3, which is, I guess that's okay.
And what's the problem with knight c3?
Well, it blocks the c pawn, obviously. So let's see, I played d5, contesting e4.
Okay.
So just developing a knight. Normally wouldn't white take here on f6?
Well, they can take indeed. There are other plans like f3, e4, but there is also just simply e3 the way how they played. But I want to discuss your move knight c6. Is there anything suspicious about that?
About my move knight c6?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously the same reason. Blocking c5, potentially.
Yeah, it's probably better to do something else. Let's go back to...
Maybe just e6.
Yeah, e6 is fine. What else?
Maybe just bishop f5.
Okay, and maybe one more move. If you're concerned of bishop takes knight.
Maybe just queen d6.
Well, that's a little bit weird to activate the queen like that too soon.
With knight d7.
Yeah, this knight often goes to d7 and e6 later and so on. The question is, why would you place the knight on d7 that early and not play e6? Something is allowed to white to do in case of e6, based on the pin that is suddenly opening up. A pin against the knight on f6.
They can just push e4.
Yes, and then you may actually notice something interesting after they play e4, that you're transposing into something known to you.
The French.
Yeah. So you could have invited your opponent, into the French with e6.
Okay.
And if they don't play, let's see this, in case they play e3, you can do something that they cannot.
Just c5 here.
Now c5. This is a valuable lesson about going beyond the opening principles. A lot of players might think, hey, I'm getting my piece towards the center. What's the problem? But stronger players go a step further and ask, okay, if I put my knight there, how does it help me take control of the center or grab more space on the queen side? Sure, you can move the knight later, then play c5, but that costs a move, and every move matters.
Okay, they played e3.
Mm-hmm.
So developing my bishop. I don't understand that move. So e6. Yeah, I thought that's a good bishop of theirs, right?
What is the difference if you play bishop g6? What do you prefer, to have your own pawns doubled, or to maybe bring their queen into the central d3 square?
Yeah, okay.
There is also a strategy in allowing bishop takes f5, e takes f, which is quite interesting, although you have pawn. You need a pawn on c6, yeah.
I really like that, yeah, because of now the pawn structure is not...
You don't like it?
No, I mean, not with the knight on c6, like you were saying.
Yeah. If the knight would be somewhere else, then c6, and then what is the strategy of yours in case of getting this structure?
Obviously would have control of e4, so maybe try to, take advantage of that, maybe putting a knight there.
Yeah, if they take, you can get like f takes c, you have a lot of space then. If they don't take but kick your knight away with f3, then you can move away or do maybe some exchanges, and then the e3 pawn is going to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So just giving an idea to create imbalances, throughout the game, if you are looking for one or something that is going to make the game more interesting and your plan more obvious. The key takeaway here is not to memorize this moment in this concrete position and use this exact move. It's not even about thinking of this plan in every position that looks similar, but actually to develop a certain habit, a habit to think of another option instead of just assuming that there is only one or two moves to consider. The other way would just be bishop g6. I don't know if you see any benefit in bishop g6 because let's say...
There's something, maybe just bishop d6.
Now you can do that because this pin is not important for you. You can maybe even put the queen on d7 later. If they take, you can take this way. It's fine.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, okay, so I see the point of maybe bishop g6.
Maybe even that, yeah. All right, you took.
I'm eliminating one of their best, good bishops. So. He's just developing bishop to e7, exchanging. This is the best this is the best piece, minor piece, right? So I can control the dark squares with this bishop, with my pawn structure. So queen d7. So castling, which, I don't know. Castling long would be interesting.
Yeah, okay, double-edged, definitely. But I want to go back for a moment. I need to ask you, at this point, when you took on d3, did you consider them taking with a pawn instead?
Yeah, I see that, and then they can push e4.
Yeah.
I did not. No, I did not. To answer your question, did not consider them taking with the pawn.
It's much more serious situation than one may think at first. Castling short, okay. You played a6 here.
Was it to prevent the knight coming to b5? Doesn't make sense. Was I going to reroute my knight to b5? That doesn't really make sense either. I'm not sure why I played a6. Was I just going for like b5 or something? I don't know.
It's easy to play moves like this and say, okay, I'm passing the move and let's see what's going to happen. But that's a bad habit. Let's see, actually, if we dive now into this position, what do you think they want to do with rook ad1?
Yeah, I was thinking of preparing e4 to open this d5. I mean, I guess one option would be rook d8.
Mm-hmm. So after e4, let's calculate this through.
Then take.
Knight takes.
And I think I can just take on d4.
Using what?
I'll take with the knight first.
But then there is a trick. Your knight depends on your bishop. Is that right?
Nah, yeah, the knight can take with check.
Yeah.
So I take with the bishop first. Okay.
You take with the bishop first, and then what if I play c3?
No, I think I can just take f2 with check, right?
Yeah, I thought as well that you have bishop takes f2, but then I realized it's not good because of what?
So takes, I guess rook takes?
Not good. You can take on d3 with the queen and then you win an exchange.
So king takes.
Still the same?
The knight can take back, protecting king.
Yeah, that's...
Protecting the queen, okay.
So you can say they are gonna play e4, whatever I try.
Yeah.
Or maybe we can keep looking, maybe e5 is there, like let's say, what's happening in case of e5?
I don't like that.
Yeah, we're gonna be down a pawn. Okay, maybe to just allow e4 and allow e5 even, and then play some sort of French structure, you see?
Yeah.
Without you having the light square bishop to worry about. As a teacher, I'm not trying to find the best move in every position, especially in a situation that's unlikely to ever repeat. What matters more is building the right way of thinking, like how to approach the center and understand the pawn structure. Here, for example, we don't need to worry too much about whether black is slightly worse. If the position makes sense strategically, it's worth exploring. And if my student has played the French defense before, he already knows the typical pawn structure and its challenges. So here I'm just helping him connect that experience to a new context and see if that setup might work in this position. So okay, let's see, a6, e4 you took, queen e7, then rook e1, and now we are in kind of a little trouble because of d5 coming. And I think overall already here you kind of let the opponent seize the initiative.
I totally agree, yeah.
This is actually a great example of a common coaching mistake. My student played h6, and after d5, rook ad8 came. Then knight takes f6, queen takes f6, and queen b3. All those moves just kind of slid by without any discussion. Now, here is the problem. When a move like h6 gets played, and the coach doesn't pause to ask, what's the idea behind this? It can send the wrong message. Letting moves slide without asking for reasoning quietly suggests that playing without a plan is actually okay. And that's the opposite of what improving at chess is all about. Then knight a5 came and I couldn't stay silent.
It was just a cheap, like, threat against the queen. It's not good chess, because I remember playing this, and I thought, okay, well, I can threaten his queen. Worst case scenario, if his queen goes b4 or something, I just play b6. Queen somewhere else, then I could maybe take on d5.
Well, after queen b4 and b6, the knight is still stuck on the rim, and that cannot be good for black. This kind of thinking isn't really in line with the idea of keeping your pieces active. Plus, after d takes e6, black has to respond with f takes c, which just creates another weakness. Overall, a move like knight a5 should only be played if black is getting something concrete in return. Otherwise, just a piece on the edge with no real purpose. Moments like these are where real coaching makes a difference. It's not just about spotting the best move, but digging into ideas, understanding consequences, and learning how to think. Engines cannot do that for you. Sure, they'll tell you what's better move, but unless you pause to ask why, you'll miss a chance to grow. And I think we have already hit the main point. No need to play out the rest of this game. But I'm curious, how do you usually go over your games? Do you use an engine or talk it through with your coach? And if it is with a coach, how does it look? Let me know in the comments.